It is actually my favorite day of the month. I I love our mindset stuff. I never realized how much I needed it until we started doing it. And so,
Give opportunity as much as we tell anybody else, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's the same for us as well.
yeah, yeah. Um, so this is a Face Your Fears coloring page journal. And um, what we're trying to do is help you to work through all your fears in this. And basically, because fear holds us back. Like,
Yeah.
look at how much fear has held us back. We've talked about it before. Um, I'm not sure, like, I don't do the marketing that I should be doing. Why? Fear. All I took was one person reaching out one time to criticize me about a newsletter. And I was like, okay, I'm done sending newsletters for a while because I didn't need that, like, so I think that I think that, you know, it's important that, I should have gotten right back on that horse. I didn't do it. And I have all the regrets now, but we're learning. And so we're going to try to help you not have those same issues. So we're going to teach you how to face those fears. And we're not going to go through the whole coloring book, but basically it is a combination of fears, like prompts. There's 30 prompts in here telling you uh, how to face your fears, how to work through the various fears. There's a lot of strategy and a lot of steps in this that, I mean, I've been doing it too. I'm not even gonna, I was doing it in a notebook before I started with this based on a book that I'd read. Um, a lot of this was inspired by Denise Duffield Thomas. You may or may not know about her. Um, she is a mindset, kind of life coach, does a lot of things with helping people remove money blocks and working through fears. And she realized that when she was struggling to be successful, what she found was that there were 3 areas that she had to work on. And one was that she had to forgive herself and other people for all the mistakes and, throughout her life. She had to face her biggest fears. And then she also had to and work through all her fears. And she had to develop an attitude of gratitude, because the way to get more good in your life is to, be thankful for what you have. And also to not be afraid of doing the things you need to do to get more good in your life. So all of this release will ultimately help you overall with achieving the success that you desire. So we put together a collection of fear-based coloring pages. Mine is heights. Like one of my big ones, heights. I mean, spiders too. You'll see those in here, but heights, like that does not feel safe to me because it's not.
I would never do that.
Because I've seen that movie, like
Yeah.
all those movies, right? Okay, all of them. Um, so, like here's the first prompt, for example, like what is the biggest fear that is currently holding you back from pursuing your dreams? Mm-mm. I
Yeah.
told you. What was it?
Imposter syndrome.
Oh, see, it's not imposter syndrome for me. It's the visibility. It's the whole just being visible in general.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen. Um, yeah, like even when Kenna was born, everybody under the sun wanted us to like be on TV and stuff. And I was just like, no, please, no. I really don't want to. No, 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 just no. And so yeah, so it's been with me for a very long time. I'm good. Thank you. No need to put me out on TV. Um, so we also filled it with some affirmations and some quotes. And the hope is that if you're sitting there and you're coloring this page and you're working on it, that you're kind of saying to yourself over and over again as you're working, I'm stronger than my fears and I have the power to overcome them. There's something really empowering about like repeating this to yourself and letting this kind of work through your head as you're, coloring your pages.
Yeah.
So,
See the colors coming together, and
mhm,
it would be satisfying, I think, to color in some of these pictures. I
absolutely.
coloring in the words first. That's just me.
Right?
Yeah. And like you say, you just repeat them as you're doing them.
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, because what the goal is, and there's a lot of science behind this, even if you look at it initially and you're like, well, this is so woo, you can call it woo, but there is science. This is neuroscience. And there is a science behind programming your brain to think certain ways that will help you and empower you to, do what you need to do to get where you want to be. And, because we have a lot of stories that we picked up on in our life. And you're all storytellers. So your stories are more powerful than most. So I hope you realize that. I realized it a really long time ago. Did you notice I like when I write books, I absolutely have the ability to, to pretty much, let's call it manifesting what I, like things in my life. I absolutely do. And I didn't realize it until my best friend Jenny pointed out. She's like, that last book you wrote? She's like, did you, think about it? And I'm like, well, I wrote it. Yeah, I kind of thought about it a little. And she's like, no. Did you see what happened? And I was like, you're right. So it was happening with all the books. And yeah. So, and I had somebody tell me once, you're not happy with how things are right now, write yourself a happier ending. And I'm like, what? And she's like, when you write your books, she's like, write a happier ending. You can see what you can do. And I'm like, she's right. So all I'm saying is you're a powerful storyteller. If you're an author, you're a powerful storyteller. Use that power for good. All right.
Yeah.
So we have some different kinds of journal pages in there. And then of course, fear is just a stepping stone on the road to success. Keep stepping. Now, you surprised me with the imposter syndrome. I don't know why that would be
suffer so badly with that. That's why I don't put myself out there so much. I have a big fear of imposter syndrome. Huge.
Okay. I mean, I get it too. Mine is just visibility. Like yours, I mean, I feel like I know my stuff.
Stop me doing things in my business because yeah, I feel that I know what I'm doing and what I'm talking about, but do other people, and it does stop a lot of the things I want to do in my business. It's something I need to work on.
We'll work through this. We'll work through this together. We got this. All right. But it does, fear does affect your decision-making process because there's so many things that I haven't done because if you're fearing imposter syndrome and I'm fearing visibility, we're the perfect storm for you know what I mean? So
of my group because I don't want all these people coming at me. And, because there's nearly 5,000 people on my friends list, they're all going to see this post. And what are they going to say? Who's she? And it just puts the fear of God into me. So I post in the group. And then I stop posting in the group because I'm thinking, how can I tell people about this? So yeah, it's a big thing to me.
I get it. But see, when I first started out, I was, I felt like I was so small. I didn't realize what my reach was. I didn't realize how things would, and so it never occurred to me until things started getting bigger, until I think the time I hit my first 6-figure year. And then I was like, "Ooh, slow down. People are finding out. People know, stop with this, because when you have a nice small circle, it's nice and warm and friendly and cozy in there. And, and the bigger your circle, the more you're, it's just, I avoid a lot of things that will cause me stress, like people who are drama and all that stuff. And that problem is the bigger you get, the more people know about you, the more you're going to invite people who are so unhappy with their lives. They just want to make you miserable to feel better,
I was going to post something about a controversial subject in writing the other day. And I had written the post and then I said, no, I'm opening myself up to people coming at me about it. I didn't want to bring that to my door. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I was meeting with somebody the other day. Oh, okay. Who shall remain nameless. And we were having a discussion while working. And one of the things that we said was, we both grew up in a time period when if you really wanted to hurt somebody's feelings, you had to do it to their face. There was no, whereas now with thanks to the internet and all this stuff, some stranger can make a fake profile, or it could be somebody, making a fake profile just to attack you and, try to wreck your vibe and mess with your mind and all this other stuff. And, I do kind of, not that I was ever a violent person, but I do miss the days when, you really had to face, you really could face instant repercussions for being a troll,
I before I came on, I was listening to an interview on the TV just before we went on the meeting, and this guy, I don't even know who he is, but he must be famous of some description. He's a fitness model, or I don't know, but he was on the news in the UK saying that there's several catfish out there using his photos, and this one guy went onto his business website and gave him a 1-star review, and he said, "Don't sign up with this guy. He'll steal your wife from you." And so the man contacted him and he said, what are you talking about? And it turns out that his wife was talking to somebody who was catfishing her, but she left her husband. And this guy was like, oh my God, all these people doing this. And he had to kind of get them shut down, but he also had to then deal with a very awkward situation, and it was affecting his business. Like, it's so, and I'm sure when you find out that there is a catfish, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm important enough to have a catfish. But it's also like, what are they doing? Somebody had paid money to this catfish, and people had thought it was him, and then they weren't getting their products. And it is.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
like that's the visibility thing. That's the thing. Like that's why. Because then I worry, not because I think that I don't necessarily think I'm catfish material, but then of course I'll get like all these weird requests and things and stuff, and I'm like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but our hope is that so, and like the thing is, sometimes fears are unfounded, but mostly they're not. Like, if every single fear that you come across, chances are there is a good reason that you have the fear. Like, people who have agoraphobia, they have had bad experiences out in the real world, and that's why they want to like stay safe and everything at home. People who fear the number 13, deep down something terrible happened to them on a 13 day or on a 13th floor or a number 13 something. And people who are afraid of spiders, I've been bit by them. Like, I've had like wounds, and then also read other people's horrific stories about like, we have brown recluses over here, we have black widows. Do you have any idea how many times out in the gardening I would pick up like a stone and be like, are you freaking kidding me right now? I'm this close to a black widow. You know what I mean? Like, so all these things, they're terrifying and and creepy. Spiders are creepy. They're just all the legs, the hairy legs, and they walk around like they own the place. And I mean,
they sure do.
Yeah, they sure do. So, like, so the thing is, the fears, they're not necessarily unfounded, but we can't let them rule us. You know what I mean? Because there's no place safe from spiders. For example, in the house, I see spiders in the house. I see spiders out of doors. There is nowhere safe from spiders. So, like, yeah. All right. So what are some recurring fears or patterns that you've noticed in your life? And I have to tell you, when you do this one, it is going to change things, okay? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And when you start looking at some of those things, you're like, I quit on me all the damn time. Like, how do I, like, I rationalize it. Like, like, I'll start a diet and just be like,
yeah,
well, that was fun. Yeah, that's, not getting the results I want done, or,
oh crap, was I meant to start that yesterday? I'll wait till next week.
Yeah. I mean, all the things that we postpone, all the things that so like, what, and deep down, are these things seated in fear? Like, are you ready for this? Because again, even weight loss comes down to visibility, because it's easy to hide behind a wall of fat. People don't really like look at you and pay attention to you when you're overweight and stuff. So was I self-sabotaging because I didn't want people to look at me and I don't want to be visible and all this stuff? And I just, like, these are the things. So when you start breaking down those patterns,
I look at that slightly differently.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is not the fear of hiding, like, it's not from hiding behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassment that I am fatter, and for to see me, like, I think I walk in the room and everybody goes, oh my God, look at her. You know, she's piled on the weight. When I went to Rare in Florence, I met a lot of friends from the UK. And all I kept thinking was, oh my God, they're going to say she's fat. And oh my God, you know, and then I have the walker. And my brain just goes into meltdown at the thought of people commenting that I put on weight.
Yeah.
And for me, I can't hide behind it. I'm just embarrassed about it. So it's a different kind of fear for me than, you know, than that.
I can
But
see, I can see that.
colour.
So yeah. So I'm surrounded by love and support as I work through my fears. And
I
of
hate
course, dentists, yeah, dentists. I've got a jaw thing.
oh,
Because I'm a teeth grinder from like stress. They're like, why are you so stressed? This is a recurring thing pattern in my life. We've heard this, right? My throat, my, you know, like, why are you so stressed? The and I can definitely see where it has changed and like impacted me. And so now, like when I go to the dentist and they're trying to do work, like my jaw, I can't keep it open for like a long period. Like I'm working on like a locked jaw thing. They'll always massage my jaw, which feels kind of good. And I'm like, yeah, keep going. Good. Nope, don't stop. And but like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, is there anything you can put in there to prop me open for you? Because like I just can't do this.
I went and they were looking at putting stents in at the back of my jaw because it clicks when I eat or when I drink, or sometimes when I talk, it gets stuck and I have to loosen it to get it to move. And I have huge, huge salivary glands down here that stand out and are painful when I eat. But apparently they're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. But I always feel that when I look at photos, I can see them. Nobody else can, but I can see them. But yeah, so she was going to put stents in or surgery. I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I can deal with that. And that's not a nice picture. Can we move on?
Yeah, yeah. But it's a Yoda quote. I really wanted, you know, fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. So good news. Now it's a snake and a crocodile. Yeah, but like again, logical fears, you know, I don't want to like I don't like swimming. I like swimming in pools. Okay. Why? Less wildlife. All right. Um, so list 3 fears you would like to overcome in the next 6 months, and why are these fears important to address? So yeah, like I just have like the one biggest one that is the biggest hurdle stumbling block that I'm slowly trying to work through. So yeah, for me, for joining bundles, that was a huge thing for me. That was huge because
Do you know what I mean?
it was
It's your visibility,
yeah, it's the visibility thing. Yeah.
putting out your products
Forcing myself to do that.
to a different audience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your visibility fear there that you're trying to crush.
I know that was me taking action to crush it because you know, what's the alternative, you know? So that definitely, but like, that's why I'm doing the things. That's why I'm doing the things. And, yeah, so we'll work through these to, you know, together, but, I don't know what, like, but I have discovered that I am more afraid of being broke more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, which fear is going to rule out? Like,
fear, but I have a money fear
mhm,
in that I have a money block more than anything.
mhm,
Relationship with money is not a good one. And that is fearful, I suppose. And it's something that needs to be overcome when you're in a business because
mhm,
you know we talk about this all the time, but if you're doing something and it's not working, unless you pivot, you're not going to make that money. And like I can see my business changing dramatically
mhm,
because of what's out there. But in the meantime, you see your thing coming down and your little graph coming down, and you're like, okay, I need to kickstart this and I need to start thinking about money. And
mhm,
it's one of those things that I have a huge fear for.
mhm. So yeah, so the thing is, this is, we could be going on with this forever because it's 194 pages. Um, but our hope is that, you can print this out, that you can use this and implement this, that it will be a little bit of self-care, a lot of reflection, and hopefully some actionable steps that are going to help you to, like, rewrite your story, be the powerful storyteller you are, and work through all these fears so that you can then, you know live the life of your dreams. Like, we're in here, the goal in here is to try to give you all the tools that you need in order to be successful. And mindset, I know people are like, mindset, whatever. It's not your books, it's not your books, because people honestly can write one book and make a mint. All right. It is literally what is going on with you that is holding you back from doing the things you need to do to be where you want to be. So that's the goal. All right.
If
Mhm,
you print it out, it's 190
mhm,
pages, then it
mhm,
will be going on Amazon.
mhm.
I'll say today.
Yes, it's going to be on Amazon. If in case you like would prefer it in that, we're making sure that everything that we do gets published on Amazon. In fact, that's our next step today. We'll get that up on Amazon for you, and I can't wait to see what like, I can't wait to see what you can accomplish once you
Yeah,
work through these fears,
yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be
and
really
what we can.
cool to do.
Mhm. Yeah, because we're doing this. This is the thing. So, all right, we'll talk to you soon. Have a nice rest of the day.
Bye.